Let me make sure this thing is working properly. And hello, all newcomers. Welcome back, my fellow Aeternians. As always, it's me, Emperor AP, and today I am happy to be with you all to talk about something a little bit interesting. We're going to talk about scavenging and micronationalism. Obviously, micronations are very small, so a lot of the time we don't have a ton of resources. I know, especially in the Empire of Aeternia, we have started from very, very humble beginnings. Everything we've gotten so far, we have gotten either directly as a donation to us or as something that we found and were able to refurbish and make nice. So those things are really, really tough. And so one of the things that's going to be coming up in our video tomorrow is actually going to be about energy generation. We have shown our solar setup before in the Empire of Aeternia, how we're trying to use solar panels to generate some of our electricity, remove some of our reliance from our local governments and the grid, and also being able to support ourselves in a more environmentally friendly way. So all in, just reducing the cost of running our nation. So that being the case, all of that being considered, today I'm going to be ripping open vapes. People's old vapes. And you might say, oh, why are you doing that? That's disgusting. This is part of that scavenging that I'm talking about. So I'm going to use this big wrench and I'm going to be ripping open these disposable vape cartridges. Now, these were obviously donated to us, but they have run out of their vape juice. So this is something someone would buy at a gas station, a convenience store of some point, at some point, and they would smoke on it until it's no longer has the juice in it. And then they'll get rid of it. They'll throw it in the garbage. And two things. One, because this has a lithium-ion battery in it, you absolutely should not throw it in the garbage. This is dangerous. If it is crushed or torn or cut or punctured, it can explode. So you have to be very, very careful with this. I'm not suggesting anybody do this at home. Definitely be careful. Definitely know what you're doing. Definitely do your own research and don't try anything dangerous at home. But we are going to be removing this to salvage the lithium-ion batteries for it in use in an experimental version of our solar system. Right now, our solar setup is created with 3 different solar panels, 2 of which were donated, 1 of which is an amalgamation of smaller solar panels that we've gathered and built ourselves into a larger 12 to 15 volt solar panel. And we now have a large bank of lithium-ion batteries that have been gathered from various sources, primarily vaporizer cartridges. And so we don't want to necessarily capitalize on people's bad habits, but if the habits are there, we are going to take advantage of it. I guess that's in line. So we can also try to help the planet a little bit and assist with that. So other people's trash will be our treasure today, and we're going to go ahead and get started with that. If you guys have anything for me, definitely jump in the comments. And as you guys know, again, coming from some humble beginnings, if you enjoy this content, if you feel like this teaches you something, or if you feel like there ends up being something from this channel that you use in the development of your own nation, I would definitely recommend you join our Patreon. It helps us out a ton. Our lowest tier is $1 a month, and it means the world to us. You have no idea. We're trying to develop Vitae right now, our capital. So that's a big deal. Every little bit helps. But even you guys watching right now is absolutely tremendous. You guys are helping us spread the word about Aeternia and about micronationalism. First off, Kushti says, hello, good to see you. Kushti, this is the video that you specifically requested. That video is coming out tomorrow talking about our solar setup. You asked about our solar setup. I gave you a little bit of information, but we are now about to come out with our full-scale solar video. This is going to be a part 1. We have multiple parts that we're going to be doing about this eventually down the road. They're not going to be back-to-back, but we are going to be talking about that, how we're doing it, the ways we're going about growing and developing it, even on a shoestring budget. We're not going out and buying a big solar system. We're developing it and scratching and scraping to try and get every little piece we can to apply to an off-grid system. That's going to be slow going. That's going to be years in the making, but we're starting strong, and I'm going to show you those beginnings. Real quick, I know I said I was going to rip this open. I'm trying to read everybody's stuff. Gen Z Remnant, good to see you. Said can't stay too long. It's late. It is. I definitely appreciate you being here. Jose Weiss says, hail to you, Emperor AP. Hail to you, Jose. It's good to see you. Aeternia forever. I hope you're doing well. Republic Community says, hi, AP. Hey, Unity. Aeternia forever. It's great to see you. Aaron says, using what's available to you is always best practice. Agreed. Also, I'm excited to see your email. I know you said you were going to send me an email. I'm hyped to read it. Jinzi says, agreed. If there are resources to be had, no takers, then it's right for the taking. Agreed. It also helps the environment, in this case in particular. One thing I want to point out about this before I rip it open, this one in particular, you can see this is a larger vaporizer cartridge. I don't want to advertise for the company, but you can see here it has this USB-C type port. That's generally the type, if you have an Android, that your charger will be made out of. Plenty of electronic devices nowadays use this USB-C type of port, but this is a very fast charging port. It's very nice. In the case that we are salvaging this, because we are salvaging this, what we're going to do as well is we're going to take the charger out of it. So we're going to salvage. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. I've been fighting something this week. But we are going to be removing the charging circuit as well as the battery. And so I'll show you that with this bank that we have and our additional 2 batteries we'll be adding to it, we will be able to pretty quickly rip this thing out and use it to charge these batteries. Again, this isn't going to be the ideal charger for them. We'll make something beefier that can handle more amperage at a later date. But for now, this is a convenient way to check our cells, make sure they're getting up to the capacity that they're supposed to. And if not, that we can record that and get a more accurate value of the capacity of our storage system. So all that talking out of the way, I know what you guys want to see. You want to see me rip into this thing. So we are going to go ahead and start. Now, the thing I'm a little bit concerned about right from the beginning is you can see this is clear, and I'm not sure, but I think there's meant to be liquid in here. So my concern is that when I crack this thing open, which is how I'm going to go about it, you definitely don't want to crack here in the center where that battery is, where you can puncture it. So I need a way in, and I think that's going to be here. You can see there's no screws on it. It's a completely sealed plastic case, so we have to bust it open somehow. But I absolutely do not want to spill a ton of vape juice on myself, although I'm almost certain that's what's going to happen. We might go with this second one first because it's a little easier. You can see this one does not have a charging port of any kind, so this one is real inconsiderate in the sense that even if you don't run out of the vape juice, if the battery dies, it's absolutely gone. So I'm sure that's why the person who donated these also had this one, but for now we're going to be ripping these open. Again, kids, do not vape. Vaping is bad. We are taking advantage of somebody's bad habit here, but you shouldn't do it. Okay, so we're going to go, and first, you can see here there's a crease. You probably can't because black on black, it's horrible for the camera. But there is actually a crease here where we can pop this top open, and so that's what we're going to do. The other one is a completely sealed container and did not have that same ability. So, gosh, this one is quite hard. Okay. So we're kind of just scratching at it at the moment, not really making too much of a difference there. This is seemingly not the way to go. I want to try and get the back off, but that's where more sensitive electronics are. Nope, and that was correct. Instantly to go for the back. Cool. So I went the wrong way at first on this one. We got the back off, and as we can see, everything. My career. Goodness. Excuse me, guys. As we can see here, I'll grab the mic so I sound a little better. Everything just slides out of the back now. There are some wires, I believe, in the front that are going to catch and aren't going to allow us to continue pulling it through. So we're going to have to figure out a way to cut those wires at some point. Try not to pull it out. But you can see this is a decent-sized battery, and this is something that will be very beneficial to us. We can also see there is a little LED circuit in here for when somebody pulls the vape, it lights up. And so we'll be able to make use of that LED in the future as well, almost as a button as they have. So I've actually just gone ahead and pulled this. Now that I've exposed the wire, it's fairly easy to do. So I actually just ripped that straight off so that I didn't damage the battery in any way. And then the rest of this up here is going to be just a little bit extra wire. And then you can see, like, you can't really see, but the vape cartridge is in there with the juice in it. So this thing's done for. This thing's gross. Now it's plastic, which ideally we would recycle if we had the ability. Here in Alabama, there's not a ton of recycling centers, so it's hard for us to recycle this. We're probably going to end up throwing it in the trash, but it's a shame. This should be recycled. And in the future, we would like to find better ways to handle this kind of waste. But that being the case, at very least, this doesn't have lithium in it anymore. One, which is a valuable metal. Two, something dangerous to have, can cause fires, can be dangerous. So we're doing a little bit better with the recycling. Not great, but here is our battery that we got from it. We're actually going to read off some specs in just a second. Let's see what it says. So first in prize box number 1, we got a 1000 milliamp hour 3.7 volt battery. This is pretty good. A lot of these other ones that we've salvaged on this bank, you can see, are things like, let's see, trying to find one of them's milliamp hour rating. 5.55 watt hours. So yeah, that'd be 5,000 watt hours. No, excuse me. 5.5 watt hours, 3.7 volts. Oh goodness. 5.5 divided by 3.7. Geez. You're looking at a little bit less, a little bit more than 2 amp hours. So 200 milliamps, 2000 milliamps, excuse me, similar to this. This is saying 1000 milliamp hours. This one's rated differently, or written on the packaging differently, but that's that's 1 amp hour. So 1 amp hour, 3.7 volts, that's going to be 3,700 watt hours for this battery. That's the amount that this can store. Whereas again, one of these, just reading off a smaller one here, was what was it? 500. Oh goodness. Where was it? Here's another one, 1,000 milliamp hours. Okay, so those are the same size. This one, 5.5 watt hours. That 5.5 watt hours, this one is 3.7 watt hours. And so we're doing pretty good. It's a pretty sizable addition. I'm imagining this one will be a little bit bigger, but I'm not sure. So we're going to go ahead and crack that one open. And again, guys, the reason that this is so important is because it's absolutely necessary for us to continue growing. We're a small micronation. Of course, winter is coming up. It's November, so we are very close on our way to a very cold season. And so we're trying to do our best to protect ourselves. Of course, we are in a place where we have heating and air conditioning and all that sorts of things taken care of outside of our micronation's development, but we want to become more and more self-reliant. We're trying to build a home for ourselves. So even though that's provided for us and we'll be okay, we would like to make sure that that happens. We can build up and make something that's comfortable for us so that we can start to more easily survive on our own, stop relying on the outside world as much. So, excuse me. EJ says, can I get a tour of your land? Public tours are not available currently. We are actually about to start rolling out the first of our foreign dignitaries tours and citizens tours. We still have to put in a driveway, but that driveway is coming up pretty soon, as we just got approval for it from the local government. So once we put that driveway in, we're going to very slowly start allowing people to come to Vitae. That's our capital city. That's what we're developing right now. That's what we're doing all this for. So that first one is going to be probably citizens only. So we will give an initial big tour for our citizens and say, hey, now anybody who is a citizen of the Empire of Aeternia can come, can drive down, visit us, and say, hey, I want to visit Vitae. And as long as they plan that and schedule that with us through email or something beforehand, we will set up a date and time for them to visit and be able to give them a tour. Then next after that is going to be foreign dignitaries. We have a few who have expressed interest in visiting Vitae, so it'll be a similar process where then we'll open it up to foreign dignitaries. So if you're somebody who runs another micronation, definitely try and reach out to us for that foreign dignitary connection. If you are somebody who is interested in being a citizen of the Empire of Aeternia, that could be a potential way for you to get quicker access to Vitae. But other than those two things, it's probably going to be a little while. Even with the citizens and foreign dignitaries, maybe a month or two, maybe a little longer than that, 2-3 months, I would say, to be safe. But then on the flip side, we're really looking at 6 months to potentially a year for us to actually start opening up tours and start really advertising, hey, everybody, anybody, Let's start scheduling tours. Let's get it bigger and better. Places like Malasia, places like Slojamistan are able to do those tours and able to start making money off those things. So we want to get in on the game. But right now, we're still preparing. There's a ton of stuff people are jumping in on. First off, good to see you guys. 10 views, 10 viewers, 8 likes. Every time a minute passes, you guys give us 10 minutes of watch time. Every time an hour passes, you guys give us 10 hours of watch time. Y'all are the people who are helping us right now to be able to reach our monetization goals for YouTube. So, hey, I see another like. Thank you guys for liking. The more you like it, the more people will jump in, and the quicker we can reach monetization, which will also help our economy, all this stuff we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and bust this one open, and then I'll keep reading the comments. I see you guys in there. I see y'all waiting, saying, oh, AP, we want you to jump in. Why aren't you jumping in? I guess I'm going to clip this to my hair for a moment, maybe, to try and be able to continue to speak. That's not going to work at all. That's goofy. I don't know why I did it. I thought maybe, hey, if it's silly, but it works, we got it. But it just wasn't. It was just silly and silly. So I'm going to put that right there. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and try and bust this one open. I feel like this is going to be a similar mistake. I honestly probably shouldn't be using this tool for it. I'm going to go a little bit smaller here and grab this one. I should honestly have something like a little knife probably to open this up. But, well, excuse me. I said I wasn't going to go too weird with this. Wasn't going to try and bust it in any dangerous place. But I think the best course here is going to be actually to try and go this way. Again, please do not copy anything you're watching on this stream actively. I'm trying to do this to salvage these batteries, but this can be dangerous. If you puncture these batteries in any way, you can absolutely cause yourself a lot of headache and a fire. These things can explode. Be incredibly, incredibly careful. But that being the case, I'm going to try to, there we go, hearing that crack. We are starting to pop that battery, excuse me, not that battery, starting to pop that vape case open. So as we keep going, just pressing on the sides there. Oh, goodness. Yep. Don't do that. Don't do exactly what I just did and slam the vape on the ground. That is a great way to puncture the battery. But as we keep going, and try and see if we can't salvage that battery. What I'm doing right here, as you can see, sorry, I wanted to move it off screen to get a little more leverage. I just popped that case open. So right there, we have an access point. This thing didn't have any way, any disconnect, any pull apart that you could do. It just has this seam around the sides. So actually going and applying a little bit of pressure to the sides ended up working to pop that seam open. Now we just have to be really careful to ensure that that stays open, moving down a little bit, probably trying that again. A little further down, yep, and you see we're getting that thing more and more open, trying to move to the back. Oh, goodness. I'm saying that and not showing it on camera just to try and get that thing to pull out a little bit. So we got a lip on it. Now I got to try and take my hands and pry that thing open. I might end up using these needle nose pliers for this. Maybe a little easier to grip, not at all. Slipped. Gonna go ahead back to these guys. Again, really should have brought out here some kind of little screwdriver, a little knife, a flathead screwdriver ultimately would be the ideal thing of choice for getting under these little lips. If I ever do this again on stream, know what I'm setting up for certain. But we're going to go ahead in here, try and remove this. Okay, getting close there. Do I have anything? Excuse me, chat. I'm trying to see if I have anything that's like a little knife or something that I could use to bust this thing up with, because I really don't want to have to just keep compressing. But if I have to, I shall. Let's see. Let's try the back end one more time. There we go. Hey, okay, look. So now we got the other side as well coming off. We can kind of just get those two things. This one may be enough This one actually looks like it's pretty severely dented. Yep, there we go. We're getting into it more and more. So we're just going to kind of brute force it. Okay. Yep, opened up more. Just going to keep going even more. And eventually, we got it. And you see, we've triggered the explosive device inside. It's going off, and it's going to doom us all. The Empire of Aeternia is done. Sorry, guys. We went ahead and goofed. We have created the most unstable, dangerous device in the universe. No, what we actually did is, I think, disabled this thing, this little light, this sensor on there. We probably damaged that in some way, and so it's blinking at us, triggering, saying, hey, I connected. Why did I connect? Why did I do that? This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And so it wigged out a little bit. But here it is. As you can see, I was talking about that earlier. There's that little USB-C charging port. This is the entire circuitry under here, under this plastic piece. For that, this is the battery, little tiny battery, actually. Huge vape pack. We're not going to need that vape pack at all. So what we're going to do, go ahead right here. Whoop. And we're just going to wiggle this little battery out. There we go, like that. Going to slide that out. Of course, this thing, I thought this was, excuse me, guys. I thought this was like a piece of plastic shielding. This is styrofoam. This is, they are great. They are great with their packaging. They say, oh, if that battery messes up, you know what you're going to want next to it? Extremely flammable, extremely flammable chemicals, specifically like petroleum products, like, you know, things that could be turned into like gasoline, you know, sister chemicals to gasoline. Ridiculous. But as you're protecting, as you're covering, maybe I'm not in, you know, manufacturing and engineering for a reason, but man, that seems sketchy as hell. Okay, we also, if you can see, I did just pull out the coil pack because I didn't want to mess with it. But this is what that vape coil is. That's the thing that heats up. Really gross, nasty. You're breathing that into your lungs. Don't do it. Don't vape. One of the things that's interesting, this is a little touch sensor. This thing isn't connected right now, but it is an interesting, yep, look, when I do it, there we go. It's changed and I triggered it. And that's exactly what we're doing here. It's a little touch sensor. It's a little thing that it measures the difference. I believe, I'm not sure if it's a light sensor or if it actually is like a touch sensor. I think it's a touch sensor. And they use it, I believe, to detect when you're pulling. So when you're breathing in on the vape, when you're hitting the vape pen, so to speak, this is what kind of triggers and heats up the vape coil, although it's not warm right now. When you actually pull on it, I think it kind of keeps a prolonged signal there and allows it to move forward. So what I'm going to do is just pull that off, break it because I don't need it, throw that to the side, pull that out, and then now we've got this little pack. This thing is kind of nice and neat in there. I almost don't want to rip this thing apart, especially because I don't want to damage the sensitive circuitry inside. Also, good to see you guys. We have 11 viewers, 11 likes. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and take my smaller ones here, start ripping this thing open. Oh, goodness. I'm making a face because I'm just breaking the packaging at this point to separate everything out. And it's very sketchy, very dangerous. I don't recommend it. In fact, I'm now just going to take this whole thing off so that's a little easier. But there we go. We have this little plastic pack inside here. And I would really like to get this out. So maybe if I'm careful and don't destroy it, I can lift it up by the USB-C charging port, which is probably the most dangerous thing to do, but we will attempt. It feels pretty stuck in there. It might be glued down in there. So this is becoming a larger point of concern. Yeah, it definitely feels glued down in there. I might, at a later point, just have to actually go in off camera and pull that circuit board off from the glue. But This is what we have so far. Here's our haul from salvaging the batteries out of these two. This is a 3.7 watt hour battery. So if we're running something at, say 1.5 volts, one LED, 1.5 volts, this thing could run one LED. You'd have to know the amperage too. Oh goodness, what's the wattage of an LED? You could run this thing for a long time. I would assume several hours with this one battery. That's pretty good. And then here, this is the nice thing about these batteries. This one's also going to be a 3.7 because of the battery chemistry. We know that they're lithium ions. This is a 3.7 volt, 2.405 watt hour battery. So a little bit smaller, but when you combine this one and this one, because they're both 3.7 volts, we can combine them, increasing their amp hour rating, which in turn increases their watt hour rating to, let's see, 2.4, 3.7, 10, 3, oh goodness, 4.1, 4.2, 7 and 4, 0.1. Okay, 4.1 watt hours. That's pretty good. Pretty good for this little haul. And then again, that's 4.1 watt hours, improving these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. And I actually have 2 more in the room, so 11 batteries that we've collected. That's probably going to be significant. At this point, that's probably over, I would say, I imagine over 24 watt hours. If we're doing that, again, these are very small amounts, but we'll be able to run, for example, a string light of LEDs that we can hang up, say, in the RV that we just repaired, if you've seen one of our more recent videos. And we can do that for potentially a good part of a day. So that means if for whatever reason we were trapped out at Vitae and we couldn't do anything, and we were stuck out there, we were waiting on help or something like that, our vehicle broke down, we had to get someone else to come and take us out, we would at least have this backup source of power, right? Very small thing, very simple, but we could light the place that we're staying and feel a little more comfortable at night. Potentially could run small heating units, things like that. So that would be fairly easy, fairly direct to do, and provides us with just that extra benefit. Again, this isn't going to run Vitae, but it is a small example to show that we can do something that is simple and linearly increases the benefit that we get by just taking the time out to do this. People vape all over. It's a horrible habit. People do it all the time. People who smoke cigarettes, people who use marijuana products, things like that. They are going to use these vapes, and so if they're these disposable cartridges, they have lithium-ion batteries in it. Horrible for the environment. Should not be out there just in the trash. Can cause fires. Can hurt people potentially. And so it's a lot nicer to be able to salvage them. But again, you don't want to just start doing this. This is not something I recommend. You watch this video and, oh, tomorrow now I know I'm going to go collect 1,000 vapes, because the same issue that they have collecting one vape, if you're worried about it busting in your pocket, or you throw it in the trash and it causes a fire or something, get smashed up, run over by a car or something, littered in the street, that's magnified the more of these you have around. You're stockpiling dangerous chemicals at that point. These are, again, very hazardous. They can get punctured. They can get damaged. Even if they're just heated up too much. If they get placed in too hot an area, they can catch fire. The other dangerous thing, if they get too cold, their battery chemistry can mess up. And then when you try to heat it again, it will, when you try to apply electricity to it again, try to charge it, it'll heat up and then can do the same thing. So be very careful. Huge exclamation points. Don't do this. Don't start collecting a whole bunch of lithium-ion batteries because it's dangerous. But this is to show you that there is a good way to start doing things and developing and moving forward. We're doing this. Again, I have experience working with these things, so it's not as dangerous for me because I have a little bit of knowledge about it. But again, not something I recommend doing. There's still a lot of risk, even for me. There's still a lot that could go wrong, and so I have to take extra precautions to think about them. keeping them in a safe environment where their temperature is going to be regulated, where even if they get punctured or damaged, they're in a place that's not going to cause a lot of danger, not going to cause a lot of issues, not going to start a fire. This is something that has to be really thoroughly planned. That's going into any big project. Again, we're already working with an electrical system that we're talking about. We're already talking about generating lots of power in the future to run, for example, Vitae. We're doing that right now with lead acid batteries. Lead acid batteries, a lot more stable a chemistry than the lithium ion. You don't expect a lead acid battery to just explode out of nowhere, but lithium ion batteries can just explode out of nowhere. But those lead acid batteries are dangerous for a whole other host of reasons. They work with lead. If you get lithium on your hands, it's not good. You shouldn't be actively just playing with lithium, but it's more that it's an explosive chemical. Lead is toxic. Lead is very toxic. Lithium, don't ingest it. Don't be doing that. It can be, of course, toxic as well. But lithium, significantly less dangerous, I think, just from raw handling than lead. Lead can give you cancer. Lead can, destroy your organs, your internal organs. It's bad. It can mess with your brain. Big problems with lead. So working with lead, restoring lead acid batteries, a completely different host of dangers. But just to think about that, we're slowly scaling up. We're slowly working on these things that can help to get us larger and larger amounts of energy. And we're trying to put that out into a video tomorrow. So if you guys are excited to see that, definitely join our Patreon. The patrons are getting it tomorrow. They're getting it on Friday. And right now we only have 2 patrons. Can you believe that? This entire country, we're running this entire thing. We're doing all of these different works. We're trying our best to build up Vitae, and we have 2 people supporting us on Patreon. They are wonderful. They're amazing. Of course, we've had plenty of people in the past, but if you think these videos are worth it, if you like our edited stuff, if you want to suggest something that we need to do on our YouTube channel, definitely go over and subscribe to us on Patreon. We have like $1 a month as our lowest thing, and it helps a ton. All of that being the case, it'll drop on Saturday for everybody else. Tomorrow, Friday, will be when we drop the video talking about our solar system. And then Saturday for everybody on YouTube. Definitely subscribe to us if you haven't subscribed to us. Definitely join our Discord, because it'll be the same way to get a notification if YouTube doesn't give you those notifications, or if you don't have all notifications turned on. Definitely make sure to do that. Ad spiel over. The whole point of me bringing all this up is to try and show you all a guideline, a path of where we're going with developing Aeternia, how the development of Vitae connects so intimately to the development of Aeternia, and how we're going to be using that as a stepping stone to reach out to our community and really show people what we're about, show people what we're capable of, and show people that micronations can be taken seriously, that they can be systems that really, really push for change. Of course, there are wonderful, great examples out there of people already doing that, people fighting for climate activism in micronations, people trying to fight for income equality and all these wonderful things, and sustainability and all these things. And we're trying to add to that. We're trying to be a voice in that and trying to take another step. So that being the case, this is one of those building blocks. This is something that has taken a long time to prepare, but is worth it. We have collected all these lead acid batteries out there. I believe we have 13 right now. And so we're trying to do all this in order to slowly restore these batteries. So some of these batteries, a couple of them are deep cycle batteries, which means they come from either like boats or RVs. And they are these big lead acid batteries that hold a lot of charge. So, we talked about here in the tens of watt hours. Those things would be in the hundreds of watt hours. They are significantly bigger. They are significantly more powerful. And they are able to run over and over and over again. Those things, if you heat them, if you cool them, of course, it's not great, but they're a lot more stable than lithium battery chemistry. And so they can do a ton for us. They're our workhorse. They're our real strong, big guys, but we have to restore them. The ones that we were given, of course, people aren't buying these hundreds of dollar batteries and just saying, hey, here you go, Aeternia, brand fresh new battery. No, we're usually getting the ones that come out of people's cars that when they had to change their battery out, they didn't need the old one anymore. So they gave it to us. A lot of time you need to actually go recycle those at recycling centers or at the store that you purchased it from. But we happen to know quite a few mechanics who People over the years left stuff with them, or they've ended up collecting them somehow, and they didn't belong to one particular store or another. So they just ended up having them off to the side. Maybe thought they could use them for something. We stumble upon them, talk to them about them, and end up collecting these lead acid batteries. So we're going to be working with those lead acid batteries, trying to actually restore them, slowly charge them over weeks. And we have 3 right now that are working semi-consistently. I'm not sure that they're really up to where they need to be. These things when they're brand new are tough. If you think about purchasing a battery for your car, if you have before, or if your parents have or something, you family members, that you don't buy a battery super often for your vehicle. You are constantly running it every day. It's constantly being charged and discharged by your alternator, but you are not actually running out all the time. Your battery doesn't get burnt up and then it's done real frequently. That's maybe in a few years thing. You have to replace the battery. After 100,000 miles or something like that, you're replacing the battery. And so that being the case, we are really, really fortunate that if we can repair these things, they will be good. They're not going to be at the peak that they were from the factory, but their watt hour rating will still be large and will still allow us to do a lot. So we're trying to set that up. We have some hydrochloric acid that we've also been working with to try to do that and try to help set up refurbishing these. But again, all of these things are dangerous. So be very, very careful. Really research, really know what you're getting into. Talk to experts, talk to professionals, and know what things are feasible for you at your stage of development. Ideally, if you don't have to do stuff like this, if you can just earn money and purchase these things flat out and have them ready, do that. A lot of us don't have the ability to do that. So for example, in Aeternia, I specifically have a background in this. My girlfriend Tiffany is an engineer, specifically has background and stuff like this. And so we are trying to develop these things and trying to do them as safely as we can in as cheap a manner as we can. So real quick, I'm going to cough, and then I got some comments to read. Gosh, golly. Excuse me, everybody. Bunch of stuff. I'm going to have to catch up for 45 minutes. First off, great to see you, Emperor Von Doom. If you guys don't know, if you see Emperor Von Doom in the chat, always tell him hi. He is one of our allies. The Empire of Draconia, wonderful group of people. I am so proud to see you. I hope your family's doing well, Emperor Von Doom. And as well, incredibly exciting stuff. I will have some updates to give you guys in a little bit about other micronations, other things we're doing. But I just wanted to say thank you to Emperor Von Doom for being here. Always wonderful supporters of us. They're always supporting our stuff on other platforms. So if you guys like the stuff that we do on Instagram, on Twitter, and all that, links are all in the description. But they also definitely collaborate with us there and help us out and support us. So thank you so much to Emperor Von Doom. Aaron said, greetings, Emperor Von Doom. The important aspect to remember is that the batteries they will be within a bank, not isolated. Absolutely. Okay, multiple things. Hold up. Let's go back and read all of these comments. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, guys. Gosh. First off, Walson the Cartoon Cat, good to see you. Thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, definitely make sure to like the video and subscribe to us. We are trying to grow an entire country. If you know what a micronation is, we're doing that. If you don't, we're trying to develop our own country based on our own culture, our own institutions, and our own beliefs. We're people who feel like we have been invisible to the macronations that we're a part of, and we finally feel seen in a community. So we're trying to get together, unify the invisible to achieve the impossible. Aeternia forever. But that being the case, let me jump in. So Gen Z said, I applaud AP for mathing on stream. Math, in my opinion, is one of the greatest ways to get a look into the infinite mind of God. Also, AP, you missed my comment. I want you to see at least at the time I'm leaving this comment. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good to see you. I hope you didn't have to leave. If you did, I hope you have a good night. But I appreciate you. That one person, good to see you. Everybody, great to see you guys. I'm gonna I'm going to go ahead and jump through some of the comments. Devereaux said, I'm on my third marriage. My wife left me any advice. I'm so sorry, Devereaux. That's horrible. That's just this is a wild comment to get on the stream. Very sorry to hear that. That's horrible. I hope everything is okay. I wish you the best. That's tough. I would say introspection is important. Of course, I haven't been married. I'm with somebody who I care about very much. I hope to get married to them one day, but I have not gone through that. So I don't know all the trials and tribulations of marriage. But I would say anytime I've made a big mistake in my life, or I have felt like something didn't work out, felt disconnected in some way, I really try to sit back and reflect. I even if you feel like nothing's wrong, even if it wasn't you or whatever, if there was some other situation, I would still say, for myself, when I feel confused or conflicted about stuff, I enjoy therapy. It helps everybody, whether you're feeling particularly depressed or feel like you really need to go or not. Therapy is super important, and I recommend that. It may give you a fresh perspective, certainly more than we can do here on this, hour-long stream for your entire life and your personal growth and development. So I wish you luck. I wish you the best. I hope you can let me know how things are going. Check in every once in a while. Just tell us, hey, I'm still here, doing okay. Send us an email, eternianempire@gmail.com. I'm concerned about you, friend. I hope you're doing okay. And we're thinking of you. Okay, Aaron says, or at least a sponger of some sort would help. Yeah, Shotgun joined us. Hey, good to see you. Everybody's jumping in. Hey, okay. Chad Cook said screwdriver is a wedge. Yep, Chad, you were already on it. You were already ready for us. Strata said, Devere, the best advice is to try this. Oh, interesting. People are helping out. That's great. Thank you for joining in, Republic of Strata. That's good advice. Again, trying to seek help, trying to seek therapy stuff is really important. Republic of Strata said, imagine in a second the stream just ends because the whole RV exploded. Hey, I appreciate it. The good news is we're not actually in an RV here. It would be crazy if we were, or if just in the background the RV exploded. But this is super cool. I appreciate you guys jumping in and doing something that's a little bit risky with me here on stream. Of course, you're not here with me, so you don't take on the risk. But I definitely wanted to show you guys we were able to harvest something incredible. We were able to, my whole career, be able to actually grow and develop in a meaningful way here on stream and show you, hey, there was a net benefit. There was a plus. There was something we got out of all this. So that being the case, Gen Z said, that would be a depressing end to Aeternia and Micronations on YouTube. I agree. That would suck. That would suck for sure. Nobody have horrible accidents on YouTube as a Micronation or in general. Okay. Gen Z said if he did, I could come on that one. Oh, interesting. Emperor Von Doom said, greetings to you all. Hail Aeternia. Hey, we're back to Emperor Von Doom's comment. Okay, we're finally moving forward. Aaron says, greetings, Emperor Von Doom. Aaron, did I ever get to your message? Did you ever hit us up? Anyway, Ariana thoughts. Chad said APDC. Hey, as a reference to ACDC. That's actually an interesting point. So in the video that we're doing, dropping tomorrow for our patrons, if you're a patron, definitely go help us. 2 patrons. We have 2 patrons right now. We put them at the end of every single one of our videos to thank them. We always say glory to the patrons. I'll tell you what, if you subscribed tonight to our Patreon, I would see it tonight. I'd see, hey, got a new patron. Hey, $1 a month. That's awesome. Your name would be on the credits for tomorrow's video. It'd be the 3rd one. It'd be added, brand new. Anyway, for that video tomorrow, it's coming out for our patrons tomorrow, Saturday, everybody else. We're going to be dealing with talking about just the development and growth of the solar system, so the batteries and the solar cells, the solar panels. And we're not talking about actually transforming the power. We mention it, but that's going to be another video. It's going to be a follow-up where we actually have to build something to transform that power and make it usable. In your house, I don't know if many of you know this, but you use AC electricity, so AC, DC. They are a band name, but they're also different types of power. Batteries all run on DC, direct current. They're just sending that energy directly to you. No changes, no variation. It's this one constant. AC is a constantly changing cycle. It's a little bit more efficient to send energy that way. Is the reason that we do it. It also allows us some special benefit when we want to change the value of that power. So when we want to make it stronger, weaker, whatever, depending on what we're doing, again, the transmission of that power. So that's all gonna be next time. Not this coming video, but well, probably not the next video either, because it won't be part of the series. Next time we get to the continuation of the series on our Powering the Nation series, that's what we're calling it, to develop our solar system. That will be a part of it. So that's just a little sneak peek for everybody who's in the stream tonight about kind of how that series is going to go and how it's going to develop. But that's big for us. You know, it's going to go from, hey, we can turn on a few little LEDs. Oh, look, this is kind of cute. Oh, look, this will work for a few hours, to like, hey, we have this big solar system out here. We have, 5-6 solar panels set up. We have these big strings of batteries connected up. We have all of this actually sent in as, more similar to 120 volts mains electricity directly into a plug into the RV that we can use to power everything. Here we go. This is all the setup. And now look, it's running all our stuff. Hey, we're running directly off of this battery power that we have. And that's really powerful. So I'm excited for you guys to be able to see the transformation of that through time. Again, you can watch even a video we did before this video that's coming out tomorrow, a year or so ago, where we actually developed that third solar panel. We had 2 solar panels at the time. In fact, we might have just had one. I think we just had the one solar panel at the time that we were given, and then we were trying to develop our own out of little tiny solar panels that we had collected over time, made a second DIY solar panel. We had those 2, and then we were gifted a third solar panel at another point. So now we're up to 3. We're actually repairing and expanding our DIY one. So we really haven't included that one too much in tomorrow's video, but still in there. So we will talk about that a little bit and explain further. Stoneboy says hi. Hey, Stoneboy, how are you? Are you related to Dr. Stone by chance? I really like that anime. It was very cool. And it kind of talks about what we're talking about tonight. How you take from the lowest circumstances and build up great technology and develop your nation and be able to empower people with the things that you do. Of course, all these developments take time. Oh, goodness, I sound like a teenager going through puberty. All of these developments take time, and yet the time that the developments take to put in end up being multiplied in their value to us on the back end, because we're investing that time in order to develop a technology that saves us time on stuff. In this case, we're expanding our ability to have electricity, and particularly mobile electricity, which will be wonderful, because if we have these large battery banks on board the RV, driving around the RV, if we want to set up camp in the middle of the woods out of nowhere at some point, if we want to take a long trip up to somewhere, of course we can probably park in an RV park, do something like that and stay the night. But if we wanted to just park anywhere, if we went to another micronation or we wanted to park on their land as a diplomatic visit or something, we could do that, and we wouldn't even need to take any of their electricity. We could say our caravan, our envoy, is 100% self-reliant. We can just set up our solar panels, have these things pre-charged when we get there, so that way we have the maximum amount of use out of them, be able to supplement them throughout a day or two if we're there for a weekend or something, and then be able to drive back. So that's, again, far on thinking, but this is going to help us a ton in Vitae and its development. And then once it's no longer in use there, once we've gotten something bigger and fancier for Vitae, we will always be able to use this as a mobile unit. So this is incredible. Trying to go through more of those comments there. Facilian Empire says vapes are illegal in facility to use. Very cool. Very smart. Protecting those lungs, keeping people healthy, keeping people youthful. It's important. Vaping sucks. Vaping is a horrible vice, and it's something that hurts a lot of people. So definitely be careful when you're vaping or not vaping. You shouldn't be vaping. Don't vape. Is I guess the best way to say it. Cillian Empire says it's also illegal to burn religious books in Pycelle. Interesting. Definitely respectful of other people's views. That's wonderful. Jinzi says, I now endorse Pycelle. Very cool. Almost Fox says, hi. Hey, Almost Fox. Good to see you. And then jumped out, said, bye, and then dipped out real fast. That's crazy. I hope you're doing well. It was good to see you. Strata said, bye. Yeah, it seems like they did a stream hop. They said, hello. Ooh, I did it. I did it in one take. I thought I would mess up and still end up on screen. That worked. On stream. Pycelle Empire bringing up the flames because that is what I wanted to talk about. I'm super late on the chat. I'm sorry, you guys. Sometimes people will go, oh, he's late on the chat. Slow down the chat. No, don't. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be a little more picky. I'm going to read some of them. I'm not going to read all of them. But just keep the chat going. It helps for YouTube to say, oh, there's like hype stuff going on. So definitely, as much as you guys want to comment, throw in that chat. But Pycelle asked a great question. When is the Minecraft server coming up? Last time I talked to you guys on here, I said, King Carminante of Arcovia was setting up our Minecraft server and, volunteered us to use it on their server farm and to have that set up. And so they were setting it up for us to allow you guys in our community to be able to have a place digitally to interact with us, to be able to make cool creative things that we can share online with everybody and show how wonderful our community is outside of our local one. So that being the case, we have been working with Arcovia. As of last time, I was trying to send them a whole bunch of stuff. I had to give my requirements and permissions and stuff over to them for them to set up on their servers, so that way I could directly interface and control the stuff and have the ability to use all that. So we had to make that connection. I had to send them a whole bunch of information. They needed specific stuff from me. So I had like a laundry list of items to do. I eventually got through as much of that as I think I needed to for them. And so I took all that and I sent it to them. They were able to get it, I believe, up and running. As of right now, you guys will have to jump into our Discord server. There's specifically a channel that everybody should have access to called Aeternia Minecraft server. And when you go in there, it's primarily King Carminante talking to other people about the server. He's been really invested in it. And so far, I think he's made some progress. Not only do I think it's fully set up, it sounds like he has been adding a lot of stuff to it. So I'm not sure how much he's played around in it yet, but I would love to be able to jump in there with him. I have Bedrock right now. So I have been playing on Bedrock for a long time. The previous streams you've seen maybe a year or two ago was me playing on Bedrock. Now that anybody who owns Bedrock can also get Java for free, I'm going to go ahead and jump on Java because that's where the server is going to be. So I'm going to have to set that up on my computer, get everything ready, and then start convening with him to actually do an official launch. But I don't know if anybody else has gotten to play on it yet. So if he has opened it up and you guys are getting to play on it, that would be the way to go, is through that Discord server to get in connection with him. If he hasn't launched it yet, I'm sure he's like doing beta test stuff, and I would be excited to jump in with him to finish that process up. So that'll be coming soon. That was the other news I was trying to drop earlier. Thank you so much for jumping in on it, Pycelle. Good night, Republic of Strata. Appreciate you being here. Solar Punk is cool, Unity. Aaron Thought says, if you haven't researched how to refuel the acid within the chemistry for your lead acids, I'll include it in my email. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, as far as the charging goes, you can reverse the crystallization, the callus creation on the plates of the lead, and so you can slough some of that off by running a high voltage through it, but overvolting it to some degree. But that, and then as well making sure distilled water, the hydrochloric acid. We're trying to set it up. If there's something else you know about, we also have like the battery tester thing. If there's something else you know about, definitely include it in the email. But we've been trying to restore these things. Gen Z says, I do have to go now. Wish I could stay forever. Oh, goodness. That's not what it said. I do have to go now. Wish I could stay, but I need sleep. Good night and Eternia forever. Eternia forever, Gen Z. Thanks for being here. Jobin News says, what flag is that? This, my good friend Jobin, is the flag of the great Empire of Aeternia. My name is Emperor AP. I run the Empire of Aeternia, and we are a micronation in the United States, inside of the United States, and inside of the state of Alabama. We are quite small as of right now with, I believe, 11 citizens, maybe 12 citizens. My apologies if I'm miscounting. But we are developing right now our capital territory of Vitae. We have videos that we've posted, edited videos showing that development, showing the progress of gaining a local community here who believe in our cause and who are trying to help us to grow and develop, as well as our wonderful community who has been by our sides online and on YouTube for years. So if you're here and you're interested in what we're doing, thank you so much. Definitely like the video. And if you can, subscribe to us, join our Patreon, do all that stuff to help us to grow our nation, be able to make something where people who feel like they haven't been seen, haven't been heard, have a home. So thank you all so much. And thank you for joining us, Jobin. Pisili says, I don't have to sleep because Australian time. Hey, wonderful. What time is it there in Australia? That's cool. We're getting some international viewership. Chad Cook says, I finally finalized divorce yesterday. Let's start a country. Chad, you can join Aeternia. You don't have to start a whole new country. Chad, we're trying to develop a country for people potentially like you. We're asking for your investment in our cause, sir. We need you to help us develop the Empire of Aeternia and to make something that has the special spark that only you can put in it. Everybody who has ever been a part of the Empire of Aeternia has left their mark on our flag and on our people's hearts. It means the world to us. It teaches me things. So, Chad, and to anybody else who may be considering starting a micronation, think for a moment, instead of starting a micronation, you could join the Empire of Aeternia, a group of people who want to hear what you have to say, want to put your developments into action, and want to support you and champion you as the person who came up with those ideas. We're not looking for individual enrichment. We're looking in collective development, increasing the minimum standard of living for all of the citizens of the Empire of Aeternia. We believe everybody has something that they can contribute, and the better off we're all doing together, the better off our society, the better off our future generations. So if you believe in that, if that's something that's important to you, and if you are concerned about the future of the world, potentially the country that you're in, definitely consider joining us in the Empire of Aeternia. We aren't just one group of people. We aren't just one identity or one political belief. We are a spectrum. We are a community. We are a wonderful expression of people's tiredness with the everyday, tired of the rat race, so to speak, and ready to develop something for the future and for a sustainable way of living, a way of living that is less stressful, less harmful, less degrading to ourselves and to our environment. So if you're interested, that's us. That's your boys and girls and other people. That's your humans. We're out here. Hey, Aiden joined in and said, have a blessed day and God bless you. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. We're glad to have your support and your blessings. Ambiguous Ambiences said, hello from New Orleans. Hey, very cool. I am from South Louisiana as well, originally. Great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Darth Calculus says, hey, finally, bro, not a witchy tarot stream. You know it. This isn't a witchy tarot stream. This is even more interesting. This is a starting a whole country, developing a whole community to change the world and benefit people. There were a lot of homeless people in the United States, people who pre-COVID were not at risk of being homeless or of food insecurity or anything. People who are now and desperately need to be seen by the government and supported and helped because they're wonderful. They're doctors, they're nurses, they're teachers, they're engineers, they're people, artists, they're comedians, they're writers. They're all these wonderful people, historians who now are out of work. They're mom and pop shops. and are suffering. So we're trying to make a difference for those people. Hit us up. We're trying to build stuff so that we can be more self-reliant, so that we have more to give those people, so that we can build businesses together and use those great ideas to be able to continue to grow that community. It's even crazier than a witchy stream. It's believe in humanity and try and grow its outcome stream. TXCTE says, make me mod. Potentially, we'll have to see your resume and also your Minecraft skills, which will probably be a part of the resume. And we also might like you to support us and become a citizen, because that would honestly, as a part of our country, just be a big part of security. If you ever decided, oh, I don't care about this thing anymore or whatever, I would give it to someone else. I'd let them do whatever. That would suck for us. So we really want citizens to be the mods. Same thing in our Discord server. We have server admins, but they're citizens. They're people who support us. So definitely TXC, if you want to be a part of the Minecraft Aeternia community, definitely consider becoming a citizen. Gracie says, I'm getting ready for a double date. Me and my GF and our rats. Hey, congrats, Gracie. I hope you're doing well. I wish you luck with your double date. If you and your girlfriend and your rats are on a double date, what would the dinner items be for the date? Do they have special like rat foods that you're going to feed them? I know I used to have a pet rat named Harvey. He was like my best friend for the time that he was around. He was very, very small. He didn't live for very long. I had him for like a year, and he just had like a catastrophic like heart attack. It was really crazy. He died. It was very sudden, very traumatic. But Harvey, super, super cute little white rat. He was my friend. Well, kind of grayish rat. He was my friend. I used to feed him like these special little pellets, just a little like, I guess they're kind of like hamster pellets, but they're very cool. He was super cuddly. He liked to bite me. But that being the case, I wish you luck on your double date. I hope your dates don't bite you as much as Harvey bit me. And I also hope that you have a well-prepared, planned out date, because poops on the date could be a disaster. Bites on the date could be a disaster. Sometimes you got to pick and choose who you bring on double dates. I love Harvey. Probably wouldn't have brought him on a date. But good luck. I believe in you guys, and it sounds like you guys will be wonderful rat parents together. Maybe the pain of the experience will bond you. Darth Calculus says, nice. Pycelian Empire says, Aeternia engineering class. You know it. We're trying. Aaron says, it's also safe for muscles don't relax with DC current in regards to electrical fences and other circuits when completed. Makes sense. Very true. Astwania says, hi. Hey, Astwania. Good to see you. White Wind says, oh, still live. I'll BRB for a second to get my AirPods. Hey, thanks. Good to see you, White Wind. Also, thank you for supporting us. White Wind says, AP, I have an alliance offer. I don't know if you started on creating that Minecraft server, but if not, I'm willing to create it for you and try and run it 24/7. Hey, I appreciate it. That would be very useful for us. We already have Arcovia developing that. I would still love to talk to you about stuff, though. I know you said you have been doing stuff, that you've been busy. I hope everything's well. Again, there's always stuff for us to talk about, always stuff for us to develop together. I am excited to talk to you. I need to respond to your last email. I know you sent me your last email, and I saw it, and I read it, didn't reply. My apologies. But I will, and we can continue the conversation, because I really do want to find a way to work with you. Potato Place says, what is this? Empire of Aeternia. Did you get the last thing? If not, I can do the whole spiel again. I know everybody who's been here from the beginning wants to hear the spiel 10 times. But I could definitely do it. I love it. It's fun. Potato Place says, what is this? Chad Cook says, I could be the King Kong of Gorilla. Ooh, what? Chad replies, the ruler known as Prince. That's dope. White One says, oh yes, the game nights with Tiff. Yep, I remember you kept dying to a zombie in that last Minecraft stream. Very true. Very true. White Wind has been around for ages, absolutely has been supporting us through and through different developments in Aeternia, through different changes in the way that we do things. So thank you, White Wind, for being an absolute OG. Emperor Von Doom says you may want to experiment with the Jewel Thief circuit in conjunction with your vape batteries. Yeah, 100%. I know all about Jewel Thieves. It's one of the ways that you start on developing transformer circuitry, high voltage circuitry. The Jewel Thief, very cool circuit. Thing about it though, it really doesn't change a ton for us as far as like the use of the battery. Like it'll allow us to get with the way that this is a technical conversation, with the way that we're going to be transforming it anyway. I don't think that'll really play a part. We're going to have to develop a very specific thing to be able to run our development. We're going to have a pure sine wave inverter, which will be converting it to 120 volts. I don't think the Jewel Thief in that particular setup would necessarily be helpful for us because it could cause extra interference and extra difficulties with the rest of the stuff we're doing. And also with the way we're transforming it, I just don't think it'll really have additional benefit to the circuit. I could be wrong. We'll have to go and check it out, but I appreciate it. Yeah, 100%. Jewel Thieves, for doing little stuff like this, like where we're just collecting the batteries, yeah, 100%. But since we're hoping to put this into like a big 12 volt thing and then connect it to that big 12 volt thing, like, yeah, we probably are just going to try and do the pure sine wave inverter directly on that. But that's going to be a whole big, like, it's a video in itself. Or if we do, we just may not make a video on it because it's super technical, but then we'll be flashing it in videos like, oh, look what we did with it. So this is a whole thing. Pyceli said, great Empire of Aeternia, and then put fire. You know it. We don't flex often, Pyceli, but when we flex, we come correct. The Empire of Aeternia is awesome. It is something I have dedicated to for years now. I have had friends who have supported it and really given it a name here locally. We have had wonderful people who have become a part of the Empire of Aeternia, not just locally, but abroad. We have citizens all over the place. We have so many wonderful people who have tried to contribute either directly as a citizen, somebody saying, I believe in the Empire of Aeternia and I'm ready to develop it, or people who just like the ideas and say, hey, I appreciate you as people. I appreciate what you're trying to do, and I'll lend a hand. I'll donate something. I'll give you something. I'll, help out sometime. We have been built and developed into an amazing thing because of amazing people. And so 100%, I am willing to stand on that and say, I'm proud to be an Aeternian. We have a great community. We have people who really care about us. Rudy Hostin says, hi. Hey, Rudy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. If you don't know us, we're the Empire of Aeternia. We're a community of people trying to develop a nation and trying to support people who feel invisible in the nation that they're in, people who feel like they're not supported. So that's big part of who we are. We're trying to, lift the minimum standard of living for people in the Empire. So we hope you're doing well. Noble Stan jumped in and said hello. Good to see you on the stream. Yep. Also, everybody, if you haven't liked the video, definitely like it. It helps to throw more people in the chat. We've had around 10 viewers for a good long time on the stream. We're over an hour now. So that means if we had 10 viewers the entire stream, we would have 10 hours of watch time. We probably don't. We probably have maybe 7-8 hours of watch time right now with what we're sitting at. But the more people that we get in the chat for longer, the more that our watch time blows up. I mean, it's a pretty large multiplier effect. So I appreciate you guys being here, and I am excited to keep developing toward Aeternia's monetization on YouTube. We're not close. I'm gonna be honest with you. We are about halfway there, which sucks. We're at 1,600 watch time hours when we need 4,000 to get total monetization. So we're even less than halfway there in total. But even to get partial monetization where we can start selling things, where we can do super likes and stuff like that. So if you don't want to support us on Patreon for a recurring payment, you can just do this one thing. So that's totally an issue. So if you guys want to be able to help out and be able to do things in a more short-term manner, be able to help in smaller ways, us getting that monetization at the 3,000 watch time hour level, which we're over halfway to, is a big help right now. Like, we can get that monetization. We won't be able to run ads yet, which sucks. YouTube still runs ads on our stuff, but we don't make money on it. But we'll be able to actually go into starting to sell stuff on here as well as on our Etsy. Links in the description. Noble Stan, good to see you. Sauce Gaming said, any opinions on the Israel situation? Free Palestine. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Hey, all that. Yes, people keep calling it a war. Again, I have been very reserved to speak on this because the tensions are so high. People are so hurt on both sides. But at the end of the day, the more people keep asking me, the more I'm going to speak my mind on it. It's not a war. It's an occupation. It is a bunch of people who are getting abused and have been getting abused for 100-something years. It's really rough and it's not cool. And people are not okay in Palestine. They need basic human necessities. If it was a well-funded militia versus, a well-funded military versus a well-funded military, it would be different. This is a well-funded military versus a group of civilians in a population. Some terrorists that are like separate and not always the target. Like they're just, the people are getting like immediately in the crossfire, sometimes directly targeted, many times directly targeted, in fact. And so when it is to that point, it is brutal occupation. It is, authoritarianism, but it is even more extreme than that. It is just brutal torment and control of humans as though they're not humans, as though they're not equal to you, and that, you do not feel as though your treatment that way would be okay. You wouldn't treat your family like that. You wouldn't treat, your neighbor like that. But you would treat these people like that. So it's horrible. It's horrible. It's a horrible situation. Free Palestine. Noble Stan said, free people, down with the government. Pisili says, I once started a Pisilian Minecraft server. Excuse me. Goodness. Once started a Pisilian Minecraft server, but the balance of power switched fast. Now Soft in the MC server has around 36 diamonds, while the other nation has 7. Oh, goodness. You absolutely blew up. Our errant thoughts said, Improv on Doom, I second that. A Jewel Thief will help to manage the pack's output overall. We actually can just use, again, we're going to be creating this whole thing, but you can just use a direct, I may be tripping right now. You'll have to correct me if I'm tripping because it is late. I believe you can just use a voltage regulator for that. Like, you may need to add some capacitance to it, something like that. But you really don't have to create the like, Jewel Thieves are very simple though too. Like I think, does a Jewel Thief have an, no, because it's a DC thing, isn't it? I was going to say if a Jewel Thief has an inductor, but I don't. I'll have to go back and look at the Jewel Thief. Okay, basic electronics. I haven't looked at the Jewel Thief in a long time. I'll have to go back. You guys might be getting me on it, but the more that I think about it, the more confident I feel. Like, no, I don't think with the way that we're going toward things, a Jewel Thief really helps. Like we're going to have specific frequencies and stuff that we're working with. I don't think the Jewel Thief help. I could be wrong. One says, I'm charging my phone now. Hey, with the amount of batteries that we've collected from these vapey risers, you can charge your phone. Your phone is 5 volts. This is 3.7 per. All we would have to do is set these up in strings of 2. You would have 7 volts roughly. Let me see. 6.8. You'd have 6.8 volts. You would drop that down with a voltage regulator to 5 volts. Then you could charge your phone with that directly. So your phone charger generally from the AC has a transformer that'll transform it down to around 5 volts, 6 volts, and then rectifies it to DC so that you can charge your phone with it. But this would be able to do that directly. So again, like a small little pack, if you have a mobile, phone charger, like something you can carry around, like a little battery pack, that's exactly what that is. It's just a large lithium-ion battery pack. So we can make a big, beefy version of that. As of right now, probably charge your phone completely, maybe even a couple times. Okay. Yeah, thank you guys. Aaron says, quick, he's almost caught up. Pile on comments. Yeah, you got the right idea, Aaron. Thank you. Hit us up. Jump in the comments. Get more people in this stream. We have a vertical stream this time. So people who are on like not TikTok, YouTube shorts and stuff, hit our live stream and go, oh, Aeternia. What's Aeternia? Ooh. So we're trying to hype it. Noble Stance says, okay. White Wind says, yes, pile on more comments. Hey, very cool. Pyceli says, 2 nations in Pyceli have Minecraft Java. Very cool. Von Doom said, Emperor Von Doom said, our Aaron thoughts, I would love to see Emperor AP do that, but also post some of my own experiments if possible. Very cool. Langwin says, AP wins their next Riz tournament. That's a great question. Haven't had one in a while. We probably should. We have our last winner from years ago, I think 2-3 years ago, potentially, on our website still. I would be excited to see a new one up there as we revamp things on the website in general. So definitely keep that in mind. Keep voting for it. Keep shouting for it. Heck, if somebody join again, I'm pitching right now. I'm pitching too hard maybe, but if somebody joined the Patreon and was like, yo, when's the next Discord tournament? You better believe what would be moving up the list. Discord Risk tournaments, excuse me. That would be moving up the list. I hear you guys. We're gonna do it pretty quickly, but we do have a few things to get to before then, so probably not gonna happen super soon. But if someone did join the Patreon, I'm just saying, links in the description. If someone did join the Patreon, it would make that Risk tournament go a little bit faster. We would definitely prioritize it, move it up quicker. Chad says, how do you feel about endangered animals, particularly the artificial? You got me, Chad. Emperor Von Doom says, right. Pardon me. I am a research junkie. Oh goodness, what? What are you guys talking about? White Wind says, I'll always be here supporting Aeternia. Even if no alliance is created through the friendship, there's at least a friendship created out of it. Agreed. Also, I just appreciate you, White Wind. You've been like a wonderful, avid supporter of our community. On top of that, you have been somebody who's provided a lot of insight. I feel like I've learned stuff from you. I feel like watching your journey and seeing you develop alongside how Aeternia has been developing and working has taught me a lot about micronationalism and about friendship, and about dying, becoming deceased. It's taught me a lot. And so I appreciate you. And I feel like even though we don't have an official alliance in the books, definitely our nations are friends. Definitely our nations have good relations with each other. And the only reason we don't have an alliance is because we're strict on it. And we had this particular sets of requirements. But I want that. I do. I want to develop that with you. I am confident that will happen if things keep developing in this way. And again, if everything's go a different way, I would love for us to be able to work together more closely in other ways. But until then, Aeternia forever, White Wind forever. White Wind says, I just realized I was behind. Emperor Von Doom said, good night, good going, White Wind. Hey, yeah, we're catching up. White Wind says it's better than last year. You were at 1,100 this day last year. Oh, absolutely. We are going up for sure. I appreciate it. Yes, 100%. We're at 2,300 subscribers right now. Excuse me, 20. Is it 2,300? I think it's 2,300. 2,400. Maybe we're at 2,400 subscribers right now. Trying desperately to get to that 2,500. That's halfway to 5K, which is halfway to 10K. And I know, 2.5K is a lot, far away from 10K, but in YouTube numbers, that stacks pretty quick. If every time we jump on stream, we have, instead of 10 people watching, 20 people, or instead of 10 people watching, 20 people watching, then the next time that we do it, next time, the following year, we have, then 50 people watching, and it'll keep growing like that. We'll go from having 2.5 thousand subs. Next year, we may have 5,000 subs. And the next year, we may have 10,000 subs, and keep going like that. And with each one, we want to try and get more people on the Patreon. We want to be able to sell cooler stuff on our Etsy. We want to be able to provide better videos so that the channel gets monetized and we can make ad revenue, but also so that we can show you guys what we're doing and be able to actually do more for our local community. So people are paying attention, not just because, oh, look at this curiosity, look at this wild group of people who are trying to make this thing. How quirky, how fun, how silly. But it's actually something that people are tuning into because they're saying, these are people in my community who are helping. They're people who are doing something different. They're people that I know if I absolutely needed to, I could go to them and ask for resources and they'd probably give it to me. This is what we want for Aeternia. We want to be able to actually take the resources that you guys provide, the belief that you guys put in us, and be able to craft that into something beneficial for the people around us. We want to take care of people. That's the job of our government. That's the job of our society, is to raise us all up. And so that being the case, every time you guys watch the stream, every time you guys tell somebody else about us, every time you guys subscribe or get someone else to subscribe, it helps to boost this channel. Now, it sucks because there are plenty of accounts who subscribe to us and become dead accounts, and that's just going to happen. So when we share stuff out, we may have 2,500, getting close to 2,500 subs. Maybe, maybe 1,800 of those or 1,900 of those or something like that are active accounts. There are just going to be some dead ones. And so when we try to boost this and when we try to get more people active as a part of our community, we have to push that much harder and grow that much faster. So it's a work. It's a work in progress. It's a grind, but we're doing this so we can build that community. And any way that you guys can help us. If you have advice for us, if you said, hey, I've been watching your channel for a long time and I loved your videos during this period, I don't really like your videos during this period. And these are the things that I like to see in some of your videos, and these are the things that I don't. I thought that this video was really hype, and these are the reasons why I thought this video was hype. Nobody had done it like this before. Then the next video flopped, and it wasn't good, and it was weird, and I didn't understand where you were going with us. Let us know, because all the time I'm messing with different editing techniques for the videos. I'm messing with the script for the videos. Some will have more script focus, some will have more editing focus, some will be more for doing live interactions like this when we're doing live streams. Some will be like pre-planned things, some will be things with different people in it, some will be interviews. There's always going to be different stuff going on the channel based on the opportunities that we get. Some of them are live videos where we're going and interviewing people and recording it and editing it and putting it out. So whichever ones you like in that, whatever's your style, let us know. Email us, hit us up on Discord, because that teaches us what our audience is interested in. We try to look at that through the YouTube metrics, but we got a comment the other day where somebody said, hey, I appreciate you being here, doing something like that. They said something like, thanks for being, making YouTube videos. And I told them, thank you so much. And I asked them what they thought of that video that they had just watched, that they were commenting on. And they were like, it was all right. It wasn't Aeternia's best video, but it was okay. And I reached out to them and I said, thank you so much for your honesty. They're like, it didn't hit that hard. Please let us know that kind of stuff. I asked them specifically, like, what's like a great Aeternia video then? Like, what's something that you feel like was a banger Aeternia video? Let us know. One of our most popular videos from recently, one we did a year ago, where we actually did a full full country ball edit explaining like a how-to micronations basic video. That's hard for us to do regularly because it's so much editing. But we do stuff like that every once in a while. We do sometimes incorporate little images that we can edit, specifically create Aeternia microball images to put into our videos. So even our last video, I think we might have had one in it. So when we do that, it's important that we try to figure out, or maybe in the video before that, but it's important for us to try and figure out what you guys like so we know which elements to keep including and to make a part of the more long-term strategy for our channel. So thank you guys. Oh, snap. 12 viewers up. Dang. We were up there for like a second. Thank you guys for holding that 10, but we were up at 12 for like a smidgen of a second. Do you see that? That's incredible. Guys, if we could keep 12 viewers even for like 20 minutes, that would magnify our stuff. Again, 10 watch time, 11 viewers. That's incredible. If we could keep that for an hour, 11 watch time hours every hour, incredible. We're killing it. Thank you guys. Okay, so let's see. Emperor Von Doom said, good going, White One. Trying to catch up here. Emperor Von Doom said, free Palestine. Hey, yep, allies on the same page. Getting it. Pisili said, free Palestine. Hey, Pisili on the same page. We're all homies. CNN Gaming Gotcha and Meme says, are you live on Shorts? Well, that's true. I don't know. I might be ignorant. I may not be live on Shorts. I may be live on a live feed thing or whatever. But I would figure it's kind of like, people scrolling enough will get it. Our errant thought says, at Emperor AP, the Jewel Thief would come in handy for utilizing smaller outputs on energy for a dedicated system. And then they put a second one. Like if you decide to make a dedicated system for lighting to be ran off smaller amounts of energy, i.e. the LED light system. But as you mentioned, this is your field of education. No. Please correct me if I'm tripping though. That's the thing that's important about it. When you're doing science, when you're doing anything, I am fallible to forget that stuff. Stuff like that is stuff that I learned maybe my like sophomore, junior year of my bachelor's. And then I'm just running with other stuff and I'm trying to study other stuff and focus on other stuff. And I'm not actively doing this stuff every day. Of course, I'm trying to jump back into it for this, to go back through that stuff. But I am not doing electrical work all day, every day. So if I am messed up, if I'm tripping, correct me, let me know. It'll just help, when I'm going to build and develop these things. Oh, AP, you goofed, you're silly. You forgot this thing that would be super helpful, but instead you're brute forcing a completely different way. So thank you so much, Aaron. You are educating me. You are keeping me in check. And that's what the scientific community, the engineering community, the even just the tinkerer community, whatever you want to call yourself, that's important. You're teaching me, you're educating me, you're keeping me checking myself, double checking. That's how we move forward. That's how we progress in technology and everything else. White One says, interesting, could be useful for hiking trips. Oh, for sure. Aaron says, okay. White One says, AP is trying to tell me to buy Patreon, I think. Yeah. Maybe. Is it? Maybe. Who could tell? It's a mystery. What? I am 100% our biggest, aggressive salesman for sure. I do have to be on that. Oh goodness. Oh, you should support the Patreon. Support it. Oh, it's crazy. Piscillian Empire says 2,400, and then says also it's Remembrance Day, so remember that for the people in countries that do it. Oh, absolutely, 100%. Good to think about. Absolutely. I will say, jump in because that was a very serious topic. We should, I don't want to gloss over it. Remembrance Day, important. Get that. Side tangent thing for the Patreon. Part of the reason that I'm hitting it so hard, you guys may be like, oh, you're annoying. Stop hyping the Patreon so hard. I 100% get that. We're trying to build this driveway. Driveway is going to be expensive. Driveway is going to be hundreds of dollars, potentially thousands of dollars. If we really wanted to get into making like a nice driveway, we want to, pave that thing with concrete, thousands of dollars. Right now, the way that we're going to do it initially, still in the upper hundreds of dollars, close to $1,000, may hit the $1,000 mark. So we need a ton of money to come in to be able to do that. Of course, we're going to be supplementing it privately. We're going to be, putting a lot of our own money into it. But that's so hard to do when we're doing everything else and trying to develop. We don't have a ton of savings to be able to put toward that. So the more that you guys buy stuff from us, the more that you guys hit up the Patreon, the more that we can develop things and give you guys better and better results on every video. It just helps. It helps everything. It helps us to buy gas to go to Vitae and do stuff like that. Like it's tremendously helpful. The more you guys can kickstart us now on Patreon and other things like that, the more that when we develop these other platforms and revenue streams, we can take the money that then keeps growing and developing on Patreon and start putting it back. putting it back into the Patreon and making the Patreon something that we're not necessarily trying to rely on to survive, but is more so a thing to give you guys extra treats. Like, hey, we have been making all these products for sale on the Etsy because now the Etsy is doing real well. So for the Patreon, for these items, gosh, my throat. Excuse me, guys. My throat's telling me to shut up. It says you're sales pitching too hard. But when we get the Patreon bigger, it would be really nice to be able to say, hey, we're making extra stuff. These didn't sell too well, but they're pretty cool. Hey, for all our patrons this month at the $5 tier and above, we're throwing in some, little knickknack thing, little something here and there. There you go. Hey, thank you for being a patron. For our oldest subscribing patrons or whatever, the people who've been here for over a year or something, we're also throwing in a special little thing. And it'd just be a nice way to boost the community. We want to do things like that. As of right now, every little bit of money that we get from Aeternia, we put directly into a fund to try and help these little projects that we're doing, to try and fund supplying our industries, and also to now, top priority, trying to save up for the driveway. So every little bit helps. And I will 100% throw on a risk tournament to get us some extra patrons, 100%. Kingdom of Noble Stance says, anybody here a monarchy? We are an absolute monarchy. The Empire of Aeternia is 100% an absolute monarchy. Pycili says, plump, a nation in Pycili is a monarchy. Very cool. Noble Stance is nice. White One says, I really do like how there was some more AP lore in the last video. I think it could get some more people to subscribe and watch videos more. Agreed. Fair enough. More AP lore. I can do that. Well, and the thing is, it's interesting because it's hard to do in the sense that I can make up silly, goofy AP lore and just be like, oh, here's some stuff, I did in the last video, for example, the RV stuff, where it's like, is Aeternia, is AP addicted to the fall or whatever? And I'm like rolling around in the leaves, and it's silly. And I can do stuff like that if that's what you mean. I'd be curious to see, to hear your response to that. But I could do that. The flip side is doing like real, like honest, these are important things to me. I would love to talk about stuff like that and do story times on here and stuff and express why I'm developing Aeternia. We've done a lot of that, just not in dedicated segments before. Hey, this is Emperor AP's thought on yada, yada, yada. This is Emperor AP's, story about growing up or whatever. Or about, economic insecurity or whatever, or the state of affairs locally where they live. I haven't done a ton of that, and that's just being raw, being honest. Some of that's hard because I have to be careful not to say things that like doxes too much. But also, we are trying to do things as open as we can. So I would like to do more and more of that, but it's just trying to figure out what you guys actually care about more and what's more appealing, what fits better with the channel. Because of course, I'm happy to talk more and more about myself, but Aeternia really isn't about me. I'm face for it. I'm, again, the big sales pitch guy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what Aeternia is. Aeternia isn't AP. Aeternia is the nation that is developing, and AP is assisting, and is assisting AP. This nation is about each one of us who gets benefit from it. And I hope that becomes larger and larger over time, such that eventually AP isn't the face of Aeternia. The face of Aeternia are the new bright shining generation that's coming up, and their ideas and their interests, and being able to say, hey, this is what I can do from my experience. These are the things that I can assist with. These are the ways that we can utilize our resources to get those things done. And letting other people take over the reins of things like the YouTube and stuff. That'll be sucky when that's the day. I'm sure I'll still be on every once in a while, but I think it'll be like time at that point for sure. And so I think as we keep going, yeah, 100%. I can do more AP lore to give you guys the history, but I really don't want to try and make the channel AP stuff. If that makes sense. Pycili says Soft's ideology has been more ambiguous as we don't exactly know how leaders come to be in Soft. Interesting. Have you written documentation about stuff like that? That's generally fairly important. Wait, what? Says, what is this? And this says, nerds. That's very 80s slash 90s high school sitcom bully tactic. Very interesting, very quirky. Came in and said, what is this? Nerds. That was very silly. We're the Empire of Aeternia. We're a country. We're trying to develop. We're trying to provide for people who have been ignored by the society that they're in. And so, if you were somebody who feels invisible, if maybe you feel like you haven't been supported in your society or in your community, if you feel like you're not making ends meet, we're trying to raise, oh goodness, we just cut out, trying to raise the quality of life for the people in our society, trying to teach them how to be more self-reliant so that we can develop into a bigger, better, more well-rounded community. That being the case, we're here tonight because we were able to salvage some lithium-ion batteries, which is definitely nerd stuff, but is also very useful stuff for not freezing to death. We have as well small lithium-ion batteries. We salvaged them from vapes, and you can't tell me that nerds vape. Nobody should vape, but we did salvage some of that, so it's given us some benefit, and we're helping to save the environment, which is also very nerdy, but it's cool. Pycelian Empire says, oh, and also I hope you subscribe because of the nerdiness. Like I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy people who are passionate about what they're doing and openly trying to express that and saying, we're here, we're Aeternia, we're going to make changes, we're going to teach you something, we're going to learn some lessons, and ultimately, we're going to help people. So, help us, call us nerds. Either way, you're helping us to spread our message. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Pycelian Empire immediately went, what do you mean nerds? What do you don't call us nerds? Immediately jumped on it. White One says, how is it nerds? I'm fine with it. I don't care. It's chill. I thought it was funny. Chad Cook said, dang it. Chad said, oh, they found us. They found us. We're nerds. Oh, dang. Pycelian said, damn, bro. Wait, what called us nerds? That is so sad. Agreed. It was interesting. I like how they came in and then but like the chat roasted them too. Before they even stepped out of the room, chat was coming back with replies. This is hilarious. Y'all started beef. Oh goodness. Noble Stan said, I never knew what existed until now. Got him. White Wind says, same. Aaron says, Emperor AP, the system would cause a higher draw on the input, but you'd be able to use lower voltage power source. You're right that it's not the best use of it. However, with bespoke circuits, it might be worth looking into. Very true. Again, I can be ignorant of stuff for sure. I need to go back and brush up. So I will look into it. It should be a part of our email chain for sure. Definitely include it for me if you don't mind. And I will be slowly perusing that as I get time, as I start making the second version of that video, I guess, update of that video. Excuse me for messing with the mic. I'm sure that sounded terrible. But yes, 100% worth looking into. White Wind said, Noble Stan, just seen your comment about monarchies. I'm a monarchy. And then we're going to keep going here because they're just talking. White Wind says, AP, what are you using? Blacktop or concrete? Probably neither for the time being. Eventually, we would like to get concrete. Blacktop or asphalt is very good. That's what, a lot of the roads here in the U.S. are made out of. And that's, pretty easy to connect. A little bit bad for the environment. I mean, concrete's not great with water either. But they're both good. I would say for the time being, we're using gravel. Like straight up gravel. That's what we have out there right now, but we didn't have the culvert that we need to be able to install to connect to the road and all that. So as of right now, we're going gravel, cheap as possible, because again, that in and of itself, the culvert that we're going to have to buy is probably going to be anywhere from $400 to like $600-$700. So we're going to have to get that culvert put in, which I don't think we'll necessarily have to have other people help us do it. We may be able to just do that ourselves. It's looking like we'll be able to do it ourselves. But even still, we need culverts. We need a culvert, so that's going to be, $600-$700. We're also going to need head walls, which will probably be another one, probably $200-$300 a piece. Maybe not a piece, $200 to $300 total, maybe $150, $200 a piece. So $300-$400, I should say. So yeah, you're looking at around $1,000 at least for that stuff, installing it ourselves, using the gravel we already have. And then eventually we would like to get concrete, make it really nice, or potentially asphalt. Asphalt is a good idea. But we'll be thinking over that in the future. It'll probably be dependent on which one is easiest for us to get, either to do ourselves and have some confidence that we can do it, or the cheapest for a contractor to do and to do properly. But again, all that comes with so much money. If we're going to eventually get people to pave the driveway so that, for example, people who come as tourists can have a nice, wonderful, comfy place to park their vehicles and to stay when they get out to unload things and all that, or to load in the things that they purchased from the Empire of Aeternia, or when we get shipments of things from other countries and we want to ship things out from our country to other countries, as we start producing more in bulk and we're able to move things in bulk. If we have trucks that we send in and out, we're going to want a large landing pad, so to speak, for those vehicles. We're going to want a large driveway. And so eventually, concrete or asphalt's the ideal. Right now, we're going to be going with dirt, cheap gravel. But the more that you guys support us, the more that you guys subscribe to the Patreon, the more that you guys buy stuff from us, tell us what you want us to make you, we can do that. We'll start to save up a fund, and it'll be quicker and easier for us to put more stuff out there. In addition, after all that's done, we're still going to be looking at septic tank, which is going to be a couple $1,000s probably at least. My voice is cracking. Probably going to be a couple $1,000s at least. Then you're also talking about power pole, which won't be as bad. But just in case we are not able to have as big and as crazy a solar system as we'd like, or as we continue to get more and more people out at Vitae, we are going to want to be connected to the grid in some sense to be able to use that in the case that our system is not working. However, having both in tandem will allow us the most freedom and the most flexibility when it comes to supplying electrical energy for our people. So all of that's in the future. All of that is, in the tens of thousands of dollars in total, but individually, each project looking at around $1,000, $2,000. So a lot of money, a lot of things we're going to have to build to get there, to be able to start making money consistently enough to do it. But we're starting out here. Great question, though, Whitewind. Emperor Von Doom says, peace to you all until next time. Good night. Eternia forever. Eternia forever, Emperor Von Doom. Reach out to us. Let us know how you're doing. Whitewind says, well, this was fun. My charger just snapped. I'm going to fix this in the morning. Good night, Emperor Von Doom. Have a good night. Hey, see you. Noble Stan says, bye, Von Doom. See you next stream. Very cool. Whitewind says, whatever lore works for you, honest or not, is cool and fun. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you. If you want more development like that, let me ask you this. Do you like some of the scripted ones that we've done? We've done stuff like, oh goodness. Now I'm going to go back and try and quote videos that we've done, and I'm going to mess it up. We have done more scripted videos, stuff where we've pre-planned, stuff where we've done the butthurt babies. Whenever we did the how to become a citizen in the Empire, we did stuff like that. Again, in the AP lore videos, we've done stuff like that. The more recent ones, the RV video. I guess if that's the kind of stuff you like, do you like in general the more scripted videos? We did one talking about the furnace, I think, and we edited that one quite a bit. And we had me in the background as well as in the foreground and stuff, multiple versions of me and stuff. We were doing crazier tricks like that. My life. If you guys want to see more stuff like that, let us know, because we'll just keep creating the channel in that direction if that's what everybody enjoys. Real quick, Noble Stan said good night. Hey, good night, Noble Stan. Thank you for being here. Apara jumped in and said hello. Hey, Apara, good to see you. Piscillian Empire said, hey, Apara. Whitewind said, use a marble-based concrete when you do. It'll expand during the rain and patch potholes back up in time. Whitewind is talking about that Roman concrete method. Hey, we know all about that. Yeah, for sure. We'll have to hit it up. I say we know all about that. I don't know all about that. I know that information alone, and that's it. So yeah, 100% we can do that. That's a great suggestion. I'm curious as to the difference in expense, though, because again, while you're right, that would be a great selling point for future home buyers if we ever decide to sell Vitae in lieu of in the goal of grabbing a larger property, or just for future Eternians. We could tell them, hey, this is this special type of concrete that will repair cracks in the future. I'm curious as to if the initial investment will be worth it for our shoestring budget right now. I'm also losing my voice, so in a minute I'm probably going to go as well. But real quick, let's go ahead and finish up these comments. Aaron said, Emperor AP, the Thief circuit is great for crystal cells, a very low voltage amperage power source, excellent for guideway or ambiance lighting. Makes sense. I'm also, yeah, okay. I appreciate you. Small packages, small devices. Got you. Whitewind says, depending on time, like if it's a couple years, I'd be able to do it for you, at least. Sorry, had to. Hey, very cool. I would love to. Pycilia, oh, I get you, because I kept saying, at least. We're going to be doing the thing, at least. I appreciate you, Whitewind. When we, one day, when we can get together, we'll have to both go, at least. But I'm sure if you ever did that, I would have completely forgotten. And then I'll go, oh yeah, I'll do it with you. Atlas. And you'll be like, what? And I'll be like, oh, is that not the thing? Oh, okay. We'll get it. Pycilian Empire said, we must get AP the watch time. Yes, please. Thank you guys. For real. We're at 1 hour, 46 minutes right now. We are like very close to hitting the 2 hour mark. We jumped off significantly because it was like 10 viewers, something like that. Now it's down to 6. Up to 8. Ooh, we're jumping back though. Ooh, 7. Ooh, it's twitching. But we got the 17 viewers. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are really going to make that. Like for real, when we leave this live stream, we will have probably 15, 16 watch time hours. Hopefully more. It'd be awesome if we had 20 watch time hours. Probably not. 15, 16 watch time hours, maybe 17. But that being the case, that helps. Double-digit increases in our watch time hours do a lot for us. If we can continue to stream, if you guys jumped on like tomorrow or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the next 3 days, we will be around. We'll be doing stuff. I'll have a lot of studying to get to, so I'll be pretty busy. I'll be trying to work on a couple other projects for future videos this weekend as well if I can get to it. Studying comes first, though. But after all of that, if we have time, maybe tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, maybe Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, if we can do that again, if we can jump on here again, but we had consistent like 12 people, 13 people, 15 people watching the stream, we would blow up our watch time. We would do incredibly. And it would help us to do that every weekend. We could get monetization pretty dang quickly, growing the channel, growing the streams, getting us out there more. So for sure, when you guys suggest stuff like the Risk tournament, that was a big thing for us. Even when we did it the first time, a lot of people joined in, a lot of people supported. I'm sure it would be the same this time. You guys know what's going to make the channel successful because you're watching the channel. You're the people who are going to be here and who are going to decide when you see it come up on your screen, am I going to click this? Is this worth my 5 minutes? Is this worth my hour, 2 hours? So tell us what we're messing up. Tell us what we're doing right, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to help to get the channel that much further. So jump in, help us to boost. We had like for a second, like 10 more viewers. We were in there. We had it. We're at 7 right now. I appreciate you. There's like a core 7. There's like 7, 8 people who have been in the stream, who have stayed in the stream the whole time. We had a couple of our core people, Noble Stan, Emperor Von Doom, multiple people who have jumped out. But you guys are really, really helping. So I appreciate it. Real quick, Apara said, all right. Pycilian Empire said, sorry, my bad. Hold up. There's a whole bunch of new stuff. White Wind said, in general, the scripted ones are more on topic and more following. The unscripted ones also stay on topic, but not as much. Though whatever you like most, remember to do what you like to do. Very true. I always have fun with this stuff, though. Like, explaining what we're trying to do, how we're trying to help people, and what our mission is huge for me. I love engaging with people with this stuff. It, of course, can get to me, like my throat tonight. I'm going to have to take a break in a minute. But I do love it. It means a lot to me to be here with you guys tonight. So I don't really have that big a concern. It's similar in the amount of work that I have to do. I put a lot into them. It's just what aspect I'm focusing on more. So the scripted videos are hit a little harder. Then I'm going scripted videos for sure. Why not? It like helps with the investment in the long run. So thank you, Whitewind. Good advice. Apara said, I was wondering if you could have peace with my country. Yeah, we're at peace right now, technically. Before I even knew your country was a country, we were at peace, but even now we are also at peace. So thank you for your wonderful and peaceful connection to our nation. Pycelian Empire says, I'm pretty sure most micronations have peace with each other anyway. Very true. Whitewind says, yeah, and BTW Apara, most all micronations are friendly with each other, regardless of ideology. My throat is disappearing into the night, so I will have to be disappearing with it. Pyceli says, unless you are hunger bonger, because for some reason a lot of micronations dislike them. What? Anyway. Very confusing last comment to end on. I'm going to end with Whitewinds. Yes, micronations. Good at spelling. Hey, hold up. Whitewind said, no problem, AP. Aaron says, no, he's almost caught up. Engage Common Ninja. Nope, I got it. Too late. I read all the comments. I didn't read all the comments. I read a lot of the comments. I got down to the bottom. Thank you guys so much for being here. I did it. You can't say anything. I'm a wonderful stream host. This is the Empire of Aeternia. I appreciate you guys being here. You guys have dedicated and put in a lot of time of your night to be here with me, and my voice is disappearing. So have a good night, everybody. Aeternia forever. Until next time. Watch the video tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow for patrons, Saturday for everybody else. I'm going to ping you guys on our social media. Please check it out. I'm going to hit you up on Discord. Please check it out. I'll email you if I have to. Everybody jump in as soon as it goes live if you can. That helps to boost up the retention and allows us to get a lot more people on board who are new to the channel and subscribing. So thanks, guys. See you next time. Aeternia forever. My voice